It's Game of the Year time yet again, and I'll be talking about my reactions to all the winners. But one big winner for Xbox has been Indiana Jones. Now, Variety has a really interesting piece up talking with Matt Booty and talking about some analysts about how Microsoft and Xbox are looking real good going into 2025. Long story short, this interview with Variety is a bit of an eye opener in terms of strategy and how they wrote a love letter to Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Todd Howard, if you don't know, is a huge Indiana Jones fan. And the headline of the Variety piece is how Indiana Jones and Call of Duty are pushing Xbox ahead of PlayStation, Nintendo in a next gen consoleless holiday season. So, long story short, this is about the Microsoft strategy and what Microsoft is planning to do for the future of the brand. A lot of people make fun of me for the silly hand chart that I did, but that was never about just the console race. It was about the overall strategy that Microsoft was implementing and have been implementing for years for the Xbox brand and for Microsoft and Xbox gaming. It's very clear that they were building a stable of games to bolster Game Pass, and they were looking to round out their services. And I think as time goes on, it does seem like PlayStation is trying to catch up and get into that market. Well, let's talk about this interview for a second and why Indiana Jones is important and why it plays into this. Well, first of all, I'm sure you've seen the reviews, but it's been received very positively. And this is because this is really Todd Howard's love letter to the Indiana Jones franchise. He says, I've been an Indiana Jones fan my entire life. When I saw the movie, I believed it was all real, and I was just enamored with Raiders of the Lost Ark since it came out. But as the game studio's director and executive producer Todd Howard, who created the concept for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, told Variety, that movie has remained my favorite movie of all time. I named my dog Indiana. I got the jacket. I got all of the stuff. Todd Howard is a huge Indiana Jones fan. If you remember going back to the FTC trial, there were documents about him going and pitching this game years before the modern pitch and saying, I really want to make an Indiana Jones game. I have an idea for how to do it right. And we've seen other Indiana Jones games in the past. I played one of them on stream. They weren't like a disaster or anything like that. But Todd Howard really loves Indiana Jones. And I love it when a creator builds something that they're passionate about and that they really care about. And that's what Todd did with Indy. And I think it's really cool. It's really, really showing through in the reviews. People are incredibly happy about the reviews. They're incredibly happy with how successful they've become and what they have done with the Indiana Jones IP. And fans seem to be loving it too. It is really, really great to see. I don't know what the player numbers were like. I think SteamDB was posting around 15,000 concurrents, which is low, but it has yet to come to PlayStation. And they actually touched on that a little bit in this piece. This is about them diversifying, though. The momentum has put Xbox in front of longtime rival PlayStation. From a pure content perspective, we must conclude that Microsoft's portfolio is now quite a bit stronger than Sony's, MoffettNathanson analyst Clay Griffin wrote in a November 26 research note. Here's why that's important. If you look at the stable of franchises and IP that Microsoft owns, they go toe to toe with what Sony owns now. They have Indiana Jones, they have Doom, they have Diablo, they have World of Warcraft. They have so many IP that have been part of this purchase. Elder Scrolls, Starfield is part of that. Skyrim, the Skyrim franchise, obviously. All of that now goes into a big old bucket called Microsoft or Xbox Gaming. And it's interesting to see that the analysts have really picked up on that because Microsoft has set themselves apart, not only with the content and services that they've purchased, but also with the licensed IP that they now have access to. Just like you have access to the subscribe button, by the way. So hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to know when my content goes live. Thanks for watching, everybody. And they also talked a little bit about what exclusivity means going forward. We are very much making the exclusivity and windowing decisions on a game-by-game basis, Booty said. And each of our studios is in a bit of a different position. There's also the production timeline on a game, so the decision on spacing comes there first. We want to make sure there's a great experience for our Xbox players, and then the gap between when it becomes available on PlayStation is as much a production decision as it is anything else. This is a game that was in production before we acquired Bethesda even. So it's been in production for a long time before they acquired Bethesda. So that's before the Activision merger. That's before the Bethesda merger. It's been ongoing for a really, really long time. And by all signs, I would say that they absolutely knocked it out of the park. This is their first major licensed IP, Indiana Jones being a movie franchise, that came to gaming, and they nailed it. They nailed it in terms of tone, and there is a potential that that means we get more Indiana Jones video games in the future if this ends up doing well for them. If Great Circle performs well, it could mean not just holiday success for Xbox, but plans for a larger Indiana Jones gaming franchise between Lucasfilm and Machine Games going forward. Right now, we're focused on getting this one to the public and getting to the DLC and making this as successful as we can, Riley said. I think we're always looking for great stories, and the good news is there's a lot of space in between the films where we could tell more and more Indiana Jones stories that I think would be super interesting. I remember when I was a kid, Indiana Jones had this whole spin-off series, Young Indiana Jones or something like that, and he went around doing adventures. I don't think people today, they see the new movies and they're not as good or whatever. I don't think you understand how massive Indiana Jones was at the time. You might know Back to the Future. That was a similar franchise that was like popping off at the time. But Indiana Jones was huge. Back to the Future was huge. Titanic was huge. These are iconic movie IP that just stood the test of time, at least the original versions of them did, and have now been adapted into the video game space. And I have to wonder, could Indiana Jones wind up being this massive IP for Microsoft where we get to continue to explore Indiana Jones stories from the movie universe now adapted in the game form? I think that could be really, really cool. Like the indie movies haven't been hitting, but these games are, and people are really enjoying these games. They're getting a lot of praise from the industry, a lot of praise from fans, and I would love to see more of that for Xbox. So hopefully Indiana Jones is just a taste of things to come, and it only improves from there. I think it would be absolutely great, and I am really excited about what that means in terms of exclusivity. And just real quick, touching on the whole Matt Booty thing, Matt Booty did clarify that it's a studio by studio basis, which means not one size fits all. And I think that makes a lot of sense. I think that's what it's going to be going forward. And I do think some people will have issue with that. And I think some people feel unsure about how that all panned out and worried about the Xbox brand. But I think Xbox is going to be just fine. I think our game libraries are going to be just fine. And I look forward to what they continue to do into the future. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to know when my content goes live. I do greatly appreciate you. I'm all dressed up because I am going to the Game Awards tonight. Well, I'm producing for IGN, the Game Awards pre and post show, and then I'm going to go visit some peeps and say hi downtown. Watch out, Fran. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thank you so much to the members. I do greatly appreciate you. Click that join button down below if you would like to join and become a member and support this channel. I do greatly appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I'm going to get out of here. I'll see you for the next one. Check out my video about Suicide Squad ending support right here. Bye for now.